everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tuning Fork, where we just learned that there is a new Negative Land album coming out, and we're going to try to talk about something else instead of that.
I'm quietly losing my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just hold that for the entire episode, especially because this episode is going to be so heavily talking about samples.
Yeah. I'm David.
I'm Matt.
And we have a guest who really wanted to come on to talk about this album.
It's, I defend it with my life. Hi, I'm Mace.
Hey, Mace. We've known each other for a good bit now. I think we both kind of ran in the same Tumblr circles around the time that that this album came out back in 2009. What album are we talking about?
We're talking about Physical Graffiti by Led Zeppelin. No, we're talking about Merriweather Pavilion by Animal Collective.
Oh, you don't remember the Led Zeppelin Tumblr community?
God,
I legitimately do.
I'm glad we're talking about. We're talking about a premier Baltimore venue today.
Yeah, we are.
We're talking about where Woodstock 50 is definitely being held.
Yes.
Good God. No, it officially got canceled today.
Oh, that's the bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is going to be kind of a long intro, I think. So for our listeners, it's kind of a big one for all three of us. So I guess sorry in advance, but also not sorry.
I was gonna pop open the Animal Collective Merriweather Post Pavilion review on Pitchfork.
Oh yeah. Do we want to maybe talk about the band first for anyone listening to this who for some reason doesn't know anything about Animal Collective?
Yeah, we can get into it a little bit. This is what number album is this officially in their chronology?
I guess it's the 8th.
It depends on what you're counting, right?
Yeah.
You're counting as Animal Collective?
If you don't, I think Holland Again is the one that you may or may not count.
Yeah, because it's a live album.
I count Holland Again. Do y'all?
I do. I like that album.
Then like the Aviator and Panda Bear album and Campfire Songs have both been reissued under the name Animal Collective at different times.
Right.
So like they count officially.
Yeah. So Animal Collective is a band from Baltimore. They started I guess in the late 90s, around 1999-ish. They released their first album, I think, in 2000. And they started as kind of like a psychedelic folk band, I guess you could say. And they really are kind of a collective, as in they're a group of musicians who may or may not appear on any given album, especially towards the beginning of the discography.
Yeah.
And they all go by pseudonyms.
There is, no, this bit was just going to be naming the members of Slipknot. There's Panda Bear, Aviator, Geologist, and Deacon.
Yeah. And
Deacon being the one that rarely ever shows up, but when he shows up, it's a treat. He's not on this one.
No, he's not. And you can kind of tell because it is lacking the kind of stuff that really tells you that he's there, which is a lot more like guitar textures and stuff. Yeah,
and a lot less like no. Would you say that this album does not have the Deacon aesthetic? But I feel like it kind of does, like the very crunchy, like living in the woods kind of aesthetic.
Sure, there's a little bit of that.
I feel like half the tracks on this album sound like they're being played on a speaker that's about 20 feet away in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I can absolutely... Good. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, the mastering on this album is top-notch. Absolutely perfect. Yeah. I listened to this album 3 times today. I was only gonna do 2 listens, but then I'm like, you know what? Let's do another one. And then when I finished my 3rd one, I still had a bit of time before I got home, so I also just re-listened to My Girls and Brothers Sport again.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about how each of us got into Animal Collective. For me, it was... I was still in high school, and my friend James, who joined us for the My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy episode, shared a copy of Feels with me. And at the time, I didn't think much of it because I was super into like Kraftwerk at the time, which was like the complete opposite feel to Feels. So like the psychedelic, acoustic, trippy stuff didn't really connect with me at the time. But when I started college in 2007, Strawberry Jam came out, and I was like, hey, you know, this is a little bit more of like what I'm into right now. Like I got hooked by Peacebone right away, and like I started pretty much joining the Animal Collective hype train, which it was a big factor in why this album got so successful.
For me, it was definitely the Lemon Demon forum share thread in which you shared Strawberry Jam by Animal Collective.
Yeah.
And also Feels.
Repeatedly?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
For me, it was, weirdly enough, the Flaming Lips forum Slow Nerve Action that no longer exists, I don't think. But they had like a thread there where Cliff Skurlock, weirdly enough, was talking about Animal Collective. So I was like, if Cliff's into it, I'll get into it. So I listened to Strawberry Jam, and now I'm like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're all like this now.
Both albums actually didn't really land with me right away, and I kind of just threw them into my study playlist because, like, when I heard the name Animal Collective, I'm like, this sounds like something that could go on my study playlist.
Right.
Like my chill beats to study and work out and do homework too.
Yeah, lo-fi hip-hop beats.
I think it must have been one of the times that Banshee beat came on that I was just like, this fucking rules.
Yeah, this is good, actually.
Yeah, because it feels is like when they were put among like the freak folk genre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which is such a bullshit genre name in the first place.
Right.
It seems offensive almost to call them freak folk.
I mean, the word freak has a lot of connotations to it, which are not pleasant.
Oh, yeah, and they also... Didn't they attribute that to, like, Joanna Newsom as well?
Yep, Joanna Newsom and Devendra Banhart were the other two, like, main people who were given that label.
And to a lesser extent, Vashti Bunyan.
Yes.
I love Vashti. I hope she's doing all right.
Yeah.
She released an album after 40 years.
She did.
Right after collaborating with Animal Collective.
And it was good.
And if that doesn't show you their power, then I don't know what does.
This is 100% not a show about Prospect Hummer, but Prospect Hummer was great. Hope she's still doing okay.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, for sure.
So the Pitchfork review, Merriweather Post Pavilion got a 9.6, which is a dang good score if I do say so myself.
I feel like the only thing that's released since that's gotten a higher score has been My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely the highest score of any of their albums.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only things I think got close were like a couple. I think a Kendrick album got 9.5, and that's the only thing that's gotten close.
Right.
I believe so. This album actually, if you believe it or not, and this is something that we can all kind of clasp hands together about. It's a full 8 points higher than Childish Gambino's Camp.
Yep.
We're gonna have to do that album one day, aren't we?
It is below 2.0, so
it's below 2.0. It fits the qualifications.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the review was written by Mark Richardson. I don't think we covered any of his reviews before.
I don't think so.
But there's a couple of excerpts which they stood out to me for various reasons. But he talks a lot about just how confident they sound on this album. He says they ooze confidence from every pore. There's also a piece later which was a little bit ironic to me because it kind of describes Pitchfork at the time, which was in recent years, some fantastic albums have turned a number of people off for being retreads, which has sparked some interesting discussions.
Yeah, because Pitchfork will rate a follow-up that's just as good or even sometimes like better really low
like
when it's
4 points
deemed
lower.
to be when it's deemed to be treading the same ground.
Right.
Yeah, almost as if it's kind of like rating the follow-up to, let's say, Merriweather Post Pavilion, giving that a 7.4.
Saying it sounds like a burrito splattered on a windshield.
Yeah, if that were to happen, that's what they would say.
Yeah, I've never seen that happen.
There's also are there any particular excerpts that you want to read?
Oh, there's one bit here that I was reading in the second paragraph that says, since their inception, Animal Collective have wandered the territorial edges of music, scoping out where boundaries had been erected and looking beyond them. They've punctuated perfectly likable indie rock songs with bleeding vocalizations. I just want to kind of point out how much I hate the fucking word bleeding in a movie, in a music review. I feel like
it's generally used to describe either David Portner or Jeff Mangum.
Right.
Yeah. It's
the only places you're going to use those.
Bleeding? Really? That's kind of a gross word.
I think, it's like, it sounds really dismissive of their earlier work, which, the last 3 albums before this all got over 9.
Yeah.
So it's not like Pitchfork wasn't on the Animal Collective train before this.
This album leaked about a month before its official release date, and
the official release date was like January 6th, so it was only like a week and a half.
Oh yeah, it leaked on Christmas, didn't it? Yeah,
because it leaked on Christmas Day
of 2008. Yeah.
How fucking beautiful.
Oh my god, it was amazing.
Me and Matt were still deep in Lemon Demon forum times. Us and a couple of friends from there got on a group MSN Messenger chat and did a listening party, which at the time what you had to do was effectively, mash go into the
and I'll hit play at the same time.
Yeah, and I'll hit play at the same time, and like as soon as In the Flowers started, we all immediately were like, album of the year 2009,
and it was.
Yeah.
The first time I ever heard it, it was on Christmas 2008. Do you remember that it was a vinyl rip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounded like shit, if I remember correctly. It sounded like playing it on garbage.
Do you remember the name of that one guy who does the really good vinyl rips? He was like
PB Thal?
Yeah, PB Thal. He wasn't really he wasn't doing his stuff as much yet, I guess.
Yeah.
He wasn't the this was before the period where people would send their rare vinyl to him to rip.
Yep.
It was the most garbage rip I'd ever heard, but geez, did it not affect me the very first time that I heard it.
It was so good.
I mean, the one thing you'll get from the vinyl rip that you're not going to get on a more traditional master is like the dynamics were probably a lot better than the CD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you no. Does anybody still have the 2008 vinyl rip just kind of hanging around? Because I do want to revisit that one day.
I definitely got rid of it.
Yeah, I don't have it anymore, and I'm sure if you Google Mediafire Animal Collective, it's not going to show up anymore.
It might still be on my personal Mediafire account. I can have a look.
The very first time I listened to Merriweather Post Pavilion, I was at this tourist trap in Miami called Parrot Jungle Island, or as it's called, Jungle Island these days. It is a literal island on the way to Miami Beach where there are parrots. It is like a parrot zoo.
This sounds fucking sick.
Yeah.
It was fucking great. I put my 5th generation iPod, I synced it to my computer, I synced MPP to it. I went to Parrot Jungle Island with my parents. I told my parents to fuck off because I was 15 years old. And and basically I just kind of walked around the zoo by myself listening to Merriweather Post Pavilion. And I was never the same afterwards.
That sounds like an experience.
I did a very similar. Sometimes you just have to have an experience like that with an album. One time I took my CD player and my CD copy of Strawberry Jam and put on like my biggest headphones and a winter coat and just went and like walked outside at 3 a.m. listening to Strawberry Jam on campus.
Yeah.
So you took a walk out in the light drizzle.
Yeah. Well, see, when I was in university, I was suffering from heavy mental illness, as you could probably tell from that description.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out mental illness, all of us.
Shout out.
I think my second listen to Merriweather Post Pavilion was just sitting in the Lazy Boy in front of the Christmas tree at my dad's house.
That rules.
Because it was, it came out on Christmas, so that was like my other Christmas present that year.
The line in Daily Routine is just a sec more in my boy.
Did either of you go to the concerts on that tour when they toured this album?
Mm-mm. I lived in Florida.
I lived in Sudbury.
I went to the show here in Minneapolis at First Avenue. And of course, because it was 2009, there was at least 5 or 6 people wearing face paint and headdresses, which was just an unfortunate thing that happened at this time in hipster history.
I mean, that continued for a couple of years afterwards. When I saw them at Pitchfork in 2011, I saw many a headdress.
It was happening as recently as 2017 at Brooklyn Steel.
That sucks. I hate to hear it.
People do be like that.
Yeah.
People need to pepper spray them.
Yeah. The opener was Grouper, who is fucking amazing, and everyone should listen to Grouper. She did a great set, but the crowd was absolutely too hyped up to appreciate it and was not into her. In Minneapolis, she did get to play her whole set, but in some cities, I know she did get booed off the stage, which also sucks because people are shitty.
She got booed in Toronto, but I think she completed her set. Callie was at that show.
Yeah.
So I know, because Grouper sold her the Animal Collective t-shirt in the wrong size that I still have.
Yep. Yeah, she was doing the merch stand for Animal Collective. A mosh pit started during Summertime Clothes, because that was
all the songs.
That was the song to do it to.
Looking back, that's weird.
That's very weird.
So James and I lost each other for the remainder of the show, but it was still good. That's my concert story for this album.
My concert story for this album is actually not from this album, and it's from when I went to go see them in 2011 in Orlando, Florida. I drove 4 hours to see Animal Collective for the first time. I went with my friend from Tumblr, Anthony, who some of y'all may know as Octoplasm.
Oh, yeah.
We went together. It was honestly like the time of our lives. There was a pit. They played Newtown Burnout, Monkey Wrenches, and Brother Sport all in one, like 20-minute block. And we almost died in that pit during Brother Sport because we were just kind of like being thrown everywhere.
That's, I think, the same sequence that they use on the Live at 9:30 album, which is a really good live recording. Mm-hmm. It's got one of my favorite versions of Brother Sport on it.
Yeah, that's the same order they did them in at Pitchfork as well.
Yeah,
because I remember that summer the set lists were all the same, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a shame that I didn't get to see them on the Merriweather Post Pavilion tour, because that was the same tour that they were playing a lot of What Would I Want Sky, which like not on this album itself, but on the EP that came out the same year, Fall Be Kind, and like that one kind of just like cemented their buzz status even more. Because it did really well for them. Those songs did pretty well.
Fall Be Kind did intensely well.
That was kind of the peak, I think. Like, they're still really, really popular these days, but I think that was kind of like the absolute apex, was like the very end of 2009.
Yeah.
I guess the thing is just like they were releasing albums at such a fast clip up until that point.
Yeah.
Like, there was a relatively small... There was like a year and a half gap from when Strawberry Jam came out. And less than that, because it was like... Strawberry Jam was like an October release, wasn't it?
It was the start of September of 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not very... like a year, 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing their thing where they started playing songs on tour before the album came out. So it was almost no lead time, because they had actually started playing Merriweather stuff at the beginning... Not at the beginning of 2007, but just during that Strawberry Jam tour.
Yeah, and I remember sitting on the Windows XP family computer in my dad's house and looking for those live performances of those songs, like before they got their final names.
Like House.
Yeah, House. My Girls was called House. In the Flowers was called Dancer. Summertime Clothes was called Bear Hug. And
were these like in any way official names, or were they just names that fans gave them? Oh, they were official? Okay.
Yeah.
They were on. I think they came from the set lists.
Okay.
They did.
Yeah.
And I believe they're still referred to by those names by the band to this day.
Huh.
That's interesting. I wonder who made the decision to change the track names for the album.
I feel like it might just be some of their like own personal weirdness. Things like the lyric book for Strawberry Jam clearly not matching the actual sung lyrics.
Being
true.
completely wrong.
I haven't looked at that in a while, but it is true. It's not correct at all.
Because I tried listening and following along once, because there's points where I'm just like, I want to know what the hell they're saying here.
Yeah.
Like, Merriweather Post Pavilion is, like, as far as I can tell, like, the stuff on Genius matches up pretty much exactly, minus, like, a couple of, like, overdubs that are missed, which I guess we'll get into a little bit once we're going track by track, but...
Yeah.
I think it was actually Deacon's idea to change all the titles. He wasn't in the band, but you know he's a little sneaky.
Yeah, they had like an AIM conversation with Deacon, and they ran the names past him, and he was like, not so sure about Bear Hug.
I think he just wandered in like the Grinch, and instead of stealing presents, he just went and changed all the names on the computer.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember the announcement video for Merriweather Post Pavilion?
Not at all.
I don't think so.
So
was it on
basically
YouTube?
if you went to it was on myanimalhome.net. So if you went to their website, they would actually have it it would show you. Do you know remember the interior art to Merriweather Post Pavilion? That's like the person swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a Merriweather Post Pavilion in like the thin, long Animal Collective font. Mm-hmm. And then there was a video of basically, I have the videos sitting in like as unlisted on my YouTube channel. One of them was a spinning top that faded into like a picture of the like a ocean or something, and then it went to somebody going, "Where's that track list?" And it's a slow scroll down the track list from Merriweather Post Pavilion. It is iconic.
Yeah.
And the other one was, I think, like a distorted video of a Big Mouth Billy bass. That's it. That was it. It was weird, some weird shit. I remember that very well because I was like, "Oh shit, it's lit."
It is.
Fuck, this is fucking art, man. This is what the real shit is.
That's what I thought. That was me.
Yeah.
That's me present day.
Every day.
Instead of saying Sluggo is lit, I say Animal Collective is lit.
Every day, unprompted.
Unprompted, Animal Collective is lit.
My Girls by Animal Collective is great. Check it out.
I mean, Sound of the Summer.
Sound of this.
I mean, I did just tweet today that after 10 years it still slaps. So
it does.
It genuinely slaps.
There is other stuff about each song that we can get into as far as the leak goes, but I think we can save that for when we're going through the track list.
Yeah.
So that being said, do you either of you have anything else before we do that?
Nope.
No, actually, no.
Okay. So then I guess we're going to start with In the Flowers. So, like, this is the first thing you hear on this album. Like, as soon as you hear the opening of the song, you know this is going to be, like, a bigger album in scope than Strawberry Jam was, like, both in terms of sound, and in terms of, I guess, maybe accessibility?
Yeah, because I believe, doesn't Peacebone start with, like, the keyboard smash of audio?
It starts with somebody saying Bonefish.
Oh, yeah, Bonefish, and then immediately just kind of, like, pushes you almost into an Animal Collective song.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that Peacebone actually started with that kind of, like, weird, like, gurgling sound.
Yeah.
That was like a bass effect live. Wish they did that on the album, but this isn't an episode about Strawberry Jam. It's about Merriweather Post Pavilion. That song is always, that sound at the beginning of In the Flowers has always reminded me of, like, water.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the song Time to Pretend by MGMT.
Oh my god.
It's the same fucking sound.
Contemporaries,
yeah,
you know?
They're, like, still friends or something.
Yeah, no, they all like, kind of knew each other. And I think that's pretty clear.
This whole album
There's
sounds watery.
there's a lot of co-influencing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, this whole album is wet. It is soaked. It is moist.
It is a sopping wet album.
Yeah.
It is dripping.
I love Animal Collective's very wet album, Merriweather Post Pavilion. So immediately after that, and this is probably going to be the first of, like, many discussions we have about this particular topic. The first sample we hear after that water sound is, like, some kind of, like, chanting. I have the sample somewhere on my hard drive, but it's, like, definitely, like, obscured.
Yeah, you almost don't detect it.
Mm-hmm. But it's, like, it's definitely some kind of, like, how would you kind of, like, describe that?
I don't even know if I can think of the sample off the top. It's like, I feel like it was very obscured behind the keyboard and the reverb.
It was definitely bigger live, but anyway. After that, we get the best chords I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, the
Fucking, like, Twilight Zone sound and ass.
Yeah. You hear the vocal style that Avi Terror uses throughout the album here, which is, like, very kind of sweet and understated compared to what has been, like, his bread and butter in the past albums.
God, yeah, he doesn't like screech at all on this one, does he?
Barely.
No, not really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead, he sounds like, I'm in my kitchen with my avocados and my bananas.
Welcome to my kitchen.
That's the voice
video.
he's doing.
It is.
And this is actually, I believe it's the last time AV ever really does this voice.
Yeah, he does it a little bit on Meeting of the Waters, which
such
is
a good EP.
Kind of a more loosely recorded, kind of more quickly assembled recording. But yeah.
So this song opens up with the line, "Met a dancer who is high in a field." And because it opens with that line, everyone insists on suggesting every single fucking line in this goddamn song is about drugs. And it's not about weed, you goddamn piece of shit stoner.
Hey, not just the song, it's the entire fucking album that people think is about weed because
I know!
it's so infuriating.
Like,
An Animal Collective song can be about not weed.
I mean, this song definitely mentions someone who is high in the first line, yes. But I largely feel like this song is about alienation in a modern society and wanting to reconnect to more naturalistic roots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's called In the Flowers, you fucking dummy.
And there's a lot of other evidence for that theme throughout the album as well.
Oh yeah, it's all over this album.
There's like
I mean, he even says he feels envy in both the lines at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like, unfortunately for this album, to your credit, Matt, there's also like a ton of lines in The Flowers alone that you could be like, oh, this is about weed. Like, leaving your body for the night.
Yeah.
It's just like, stop.
Let me just read the Genius annotation because it made me really fucking mad when I read it earlier. Okay, I'm just gonna read it in my best voice. Okay, everything from this point are tenuous links at best, but it's this line which makes it impossible not to draw the conclusion of drugs. As psychedelics take their full effect, you can literally feel yourself fall out of your body, like your consciousness leaving your body. This in time with the musical explosion is just to me inalienable proof that it's about drugs.
And it's got.
Did he mean to say inalienable?
Or indelible. It's
Indelible,
got,
I think, is the word.
It's got
they're looking for.
-6 as far as the score goes.
I'm just gonna pop a quick -7 on that one.
And also, is the image under it isn't that like the illustrations you see inside a Taco Bell?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't trust any of the notes, like any of the Genius notes for any Animal Collective song, and this song in specific, fuck this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It really just illustrates how good they are at layering like complementary loops over each other. Because even before you get to that point in the song where it kind of shifts, it just kind of keeps building and building on itself. And they do. I think this is the first time that I remember that they do this thing where they start the song at the slower pace and then have this sudden like upward shift in tempo and mood about halfway through.
And then they shift it back down again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They go back to the verse to end the song there, which I thought was really cool.
You know, just like drugs.
Yeah. But like, yeah, the pre-chorus and chorus really like strengthen my reading a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No more missing you while I'm gone. Like, we will recognize nothing's wrong, and I wouldn't be so selfish. I won't be this way very long.
Can I just be on record as saying that the drop in this song is the greatest drop I've ever heard in my entire life?
It is among my favorite drops.
There's another really good one in the song Graze off of Fall Be Kind. That's the other one I was thinking of.
You mean Pan Flute Jam?
Yeah, Pan Flute Jam. Pan Flute Jam 09.
Or Grace?
Yeah. It would have to be in my top 3 favorite drops, along with Dance Yourself Clean.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And the Wham City, the latter half of Wham City, when they go when they go to the vocal only part.
Yeah.
And then right after that, when they go back into the instruments.
Yeah.
See, I thought you meant the one at the beginning of, like, basically what is considered Wham City Part 2, where he just drops the break beat.
I mean, that too. The thing is, that song's really good.
Yeah, all of it's incredible.
We'll get to that album as well eventually.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if I'd want to do Spider-Man of the Rings or Bromst first. They're both important for different reasons.
They are.
This is a great song. I love In the Flowers. I wish I could go back to the first time I ever heard it.
Yeah, I wish that actually this was the first song that I heard from this album.
Yeah.
because it really it belongs in this spot to me in the album.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
This album has a perfect opener and closer, like both sonically and thematically. It's wild.
Gosh, yeah.
It's wild how good they are as openers and closers.
wait, what was the first song you ever heard from this album? Are you talking like the live songs, or are you talking about the album?
Well, like the
My Girls and Brother Sport were both singles, right?
No, they came after.
Brother Sport
did
got
they?
leaked before the
Yeah,
album
and-
came out.
Right. Okay.
And Ed Droste went to prison for like 70 years because he posted the MP3 on his blog.
Yeah.
God. Remember when blogs just posted MP3s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a fucking time.
Remember the Deer Hunter blog? Because I do.
I have everything from the Deer Hunter blog because I downloaded it all before it went down.
Same.
Isn't that where the bedroom databanks got released at
Yeah.
first? Yeah.
Those were so good.
Yeah.
Those were his walls.
Yeah. Speaking of that, should we go into My Girls?
Ooh, mis niñas, my girls.
Yeah. So this is the first Panda Bear written song of the album. He gets his chance to shine.
Were the girls his daughters?
Daughter and wife, I think was the implication.
This song to me is like the perfect encapsulation of the 2009 like indie-tronic sound. Like I can see the triangles and the space cats like on the inside of my retinas when I listen to this song.
I remember that I used to hate this song because it was the embodiment of that.
Yeah.
And like I was the first person to be like, "Oh, play My Girls." But also this song slaps.
It does.
It is really good.
It's the perfect song for pumping up the crowd at their shows.
Yeah. And I'm like, "No, I'm really sorry about your dad, but this song slaps."
Yeah. Exactly. It's got throughout it's got like the repeated arpeggio that just kind of ties everything together. It's got that. Again, this is a very wet song. It's got the splashy water loop in the background, which isn't something you notice really, but the song would be a lot sparser sounding without it.
And also, this song, despite it not apparently being a sample, sounds amazingly like Your Love by Frankie Knuckles. Like, it is like an absolutely stunning comparison, and also makes for great mashup fodder.
Yeah.
I am genuinely surprised that it is not a sample.
Yeah, like when that one was like debunked, I was genuinely like amazed. It's like when people figured out that Comfy and Nautica didn't sample the Acura soundtrack. I was just like, what? But it sounds the same.
I recently looked through the sample list from the album Replica by One O Tricks Point Never, and there's some crazy shit in that album.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Our boy Dan loves
One O Tricks,
his commercials.
Yeah. One O Tricks basically counts as Plunderphonics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
especially that album. Noah's obviously taking advantage of everything he learned from recording Person Pitch here. Like he did a bit of writing on that as well about like wanting a good life for his family.
I think my favorite.
He does his own background vocals on this, right? Like he's the only one singing on this track.
No, that's Avi in the back.
It is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so.
You
at
can
least,
only kind of tell because it's like it's meshed together so well. But yeah.
Well, it also kind of just sounds like he's doing Panda Bear voice.
Yeah. It is Mr. Tear.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs on Person Pitch, well, all of my favorite songs on Person Pitch are about. This is a running joke over at Collected Animals, the Animal Collective fan forum. Still going strong. This is that apparently every Noah song that is given to Animal Collective, or honestly even any Panda Bear song, is about Noah leaving the band. And it's very funny to imagine this one and Bros as like him leaving the band.
Yeah.
Like the "Hey man, what's your problem?"
Don't you know I don't belong to you, Avi Tear?
So the running joke is that Noah hates the rest of Animal Collective, and I choose to believe that.
Yeah,
that's why he moved to Portugal, to get away from them.
Whereas Aviator later in the album refers to the other members of Animal Collective as his best friends.
Yeah.
His three umbrellas, as you will.
Yeah.
And yeah, he sure says it's on my father's grave a bunch of times in a row, huh?
It does.
And then, yeah, okay, the one line in this that people always kind of, like, balked at is, I don't mean to seem like I care about material things like a social status. And it literally took me until today to understand the grammar of that line.
Yeah, it's
because
not
I thought he was
obvious.
Yeah, I thought he was calling a social status a material thing, but it's the caring about about material things that's part of a social status.
Oh,
and
shit,
so
I'm realizing this on air.
Yeah, he wants useful things like 4 walls and Adobe slats for his girls. And Adobe like house shaping is very popular in Portugal.
Yeah.
It's just like primary construction material for a lot of parts of Lisbon where he lives.
Yeah.
Which, like, that part was obvious. But, yeah, no. Like, the grammar of the line doesn't make any sense, but the intention is now clear to me. It only took me 10 fucking years.
One thing about this chorus that I absolutely love, and that's still funny to me, is replacing Adobe Slats with Adobe Creative Suite. It is genuinely still extremely funny.
Adobe Suite for my PC.
I love this song. It is so pure. It is so good live. It's a good song about raising your kids and just hanging out with your family. And there are a ton of songs about that on here.
Yeah.
This whole album is like every Noah song is about either his family or about cranking it.
He was obsessed with cranking it in 2004 through 2009.
Yeah. On that note,
and yeah, well, there's not much to go over on the lyrics, because it's very repetitive. A lot of overdubbing of the lyrics, so like the background vocals, which I'm now learning are Aviator background vocals.
Yeah,
and then just a lot of lines looping over each other. Sonically, the song is like perfect sounding. The like kind of arpeggio that goes on in the background kind of fades in and out.
Yeah,
along with the other instruments, which I find really cool.
Even even like on FM radio, when I was like listening to this song when it was being played like on my college radio station, it still sounded good.
Yeah, like this song manages to sound good even like in a really compressed band, which is something that's not true of all Animal Collective like tracks.
Yeah.
I think this album as a whole is mastered in a way that sounds good on pretty much any audio system, because Rusty Santos is a genius.
Well, no, this was Ben Allen.
This was a Ben Allen one?
Ben Allen did Halcyon Digest.
I
am seeing that now. It does say Ben Allen.
Yep.
One thing, I think that sometimes like an idea will carry over from an Animal Collective album to a solo album, and kind of vice versa. How all the Hocketing stuff from Grim Reaper carried over to Painting With.
Yeah.
Basically, I feel like some of the DNA from My Girls carried over to Surfer's Hymn. It wasn't as effective, but it still worked.
Yeah.
At least with the arpeggio.
I listened to Tomboy a lot more before the album came out, like as the singles trickled in, because almost all the songs got released as singles before the album came out.
Yeah.
And with completely different mixing and mastering.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a completely agonizing 2010, if you guys remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which made the album that much weirder to listen to, because I heard all these songs and now they're all different.
But yeah, it was I think they share kind of like similar DNA at least.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that.
Let's move into Also Frightened.
Oh.
Is there a way till the dawn where we won't fret that they don't have our eyes? The ghosts came crying around, but I woke you, slept there on your side. From our window to lanterns, draw signs on the night, and light our two shadows.
Are you also frightened?
Are you? This is the only song on here which I'm not sure, based on the lyrics and the style of it, I guess, whether this was written by Aviator or by Panda Bear.
Does Aviator have... Aviator doesn't have kids, right?
No, that we know of.
Yeah, and this song very much is about raising children.
I feel like it is like an Aviator thing.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely, has the My Girls effect where I can't really tell who's on lead on this one.
Aviator does tend to, like, get really into, like, writing the complex lyrics, and that's definitely a thing in this song. Mm-hmm. As compared to, like, the rest of Panda Bear's songs on this album, it's a lot denser seeming to me.
Yeah, like, Panda Bear's lyrics are like... You know, the cow says moo, and Aviator is like, call me Ishmael.
Panda Bear's lyrics are just saying cow tits over and over again.
Yeah. I feel like both their DNA is still on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the again, never trust the Genius annotations, but they do seem to suggest a lot more Noah. But then again, on a later track that is very clearly an Aviator track, they also think it's Noah, so I don't think they're very smart.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
One thing is like the excited and scream until their voices grow wild. All that very Aviator, and also just very reminds me of the opening parts of Banshee Beat. Just really naturalistic kind of like childlike wonder stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Can I ask a does anybody else question? The line in the first verse is like, let them crawl into the logs, the damn brown jeans, the hue of their path. Did anybody else think it said Dan Brown for a little while? Was that just me?
I think maybe subconsciously I did. I never really listened to the words of this song or even this whole album too closely for the first couple years.
I'm gonna be real. I did not know most of the words to this song.
Yeah,
me
until,
either.
like,
and
today.
It's been 10 years.
I still sing along to it incorrectly, but yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, like one of the big lines in this song, like the defining couplet is, "Well, I want them to be who they will be, or to be more like their dad." So like that whole like the concept of raising a child and not knowing exactly how much you should steer them. And then it gets to the point where it's maybe I should let them, maybe we should let them. And I have a question: are you also frightened? Because what the fuck is more frightening than like bringing a person into the world and having them develop into a person
under
exactly.
your responsibility?
Under your responsibility specifically.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty strong song, especially because like "Are You Also Frightened" is repeated like 8 times.
I wondered now that we're 3 songs deep, if the watery kind of sound of this album. How much of that directly carried over into the album Down There by Aviator? Like, if he was still kind of, like, on the same, like, wavelength as far as how he wanted the songs to sound?
So I feel like you could consider, like, Merriweather Post Pavilion, Tomboy, and Down There to almost be in, like, the same parcel.
Yeah.
In the way that they're made.
The same year that Down There came out, I believe, there was a Kriya Brecken single called Uterus Water that was very also watery.
Yeah, so it was 2010, so same year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that exists. They all kind of exist in the same universe, in the ACU.
This is when the two of them were still married, right?
Yeah. Well, we don't know.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah, like I think as far as like is officially known, they broke up somewhere around here.
Yeah.
Like it was like somewhere in 2009 or 2010, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like they're very private. They're private people, which is fair.
After she was fully credited as like a member of the band on Feels 2 albums ago.
Yeah.
And I think as recently as like I saw her name in the credits for Oddsack.
Oh sure.
Okay.
So I think as recently as like Centipede Hurts, maybe she was like working with them, so maybe things were all right.
She was still putting things on paw tracks after like they're said to have broken up. So
yeah,
I feel like they still maintain like a professional relationship, and there's probably less bad blood than is thought. It might have just been like I think like there's a lot of people project a lot.
Yeah.
Especially like when it comes to people of like kind of this genre. Because now I'm just thinking of like Joanna Newsom breaking up with Bill Callahan and how much people were total freaks about that.
Right. And just
that was weird.
Any indie musician, they're gonna like look into who they're in a relationship with at any given time, You know, the whole the whole cult of personality that existed for like a year between like Waves and Best Coast.
Yeah.
And then,
or like when Ben Jabard was dating Zooey Deschanel.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
God.
Did I just throw you into the past with that line?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel old.
Yep.
You just got hucked straight into 10 years ago.
Let's
Waves
listen
and
to
Best
some
Coast.
She and Him.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Waves and Best Coast had a budding friendship in 2010, and now in near like 2020, the only friend that Waves has is his properties.
We will get a Waves as a landlord joke on every single episode we do. We've done it more than once already.
It helps that my Twitter handle is a Waves reference.
Do you think that he sees that sometimes and he's like, "Oh, I've got my fan"? No.
He did tweet at me once, and he was like, "Wow, there's a lot of people on Twitter with Waves handles or whatever."
Yeah, there's a ton of people who need homes.
Yep.
He's gonna want you to pay rent on the name.
Just
pay a monthly stipend.
I have the full copyright, like it got notarized and everything. I own daves.twitter.biz. As far as Also Frightened goes, just because we got a little bit off topic there talking about Landlord Williams, the song has one of my favorite harmonies on the album on it. It's obvious at this point that Dave and Noah are really, really experienced, like complementing each other's voices with it seems like almost effortlessly.
Well, yeah, they like switch up the harmony on like the 8 different Also Frightens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they'll trade which one's doing the higher. They'll go up, they'll go back down. Like they have like a whole sequence there.
If you notice when you see Animal Collective live, pay attention to Noah and Dave, because they're always like, if you notice, they're like talking to each other in their weird made-up language.
Yeah. I remember this from
Sometimes
seeing
they'll
their
scream at
shows.
each other.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll just be like "what" or "huh" or "sit."
And that's how you know they're communicating to get to one part of the song, from one part of the song to another. I know they do it during Brother Sport, where they have that like yell off.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is why Avitar had those like bouts of laryngitis for like most of 2012.
Well, yeah, he had to cancel the Toronto show that I was going to go to, and they rescheduled it for the middle of the summer, which meant I couldn't go to it because I was working full time. And then apparently that show sucked total ass.
He should have taken some lessons from some 2009 metalcore singers.
They should have taken some lessons from Celine Dion.
You know, she's their Canadian concierge.
Of course.
Yeah.
They should have taken lessons from...
I mean, she lives in Las Vegas, but...
Oh, it's fine. Should have taken lessons from Kevin Drew?
Yeah, I guess.
A little bit of Canada follows Celine wherever she goes.
Drake?
Uh-huh.
Help me out here. Emily Feist?
It's Leslie Feist.
Leslie
and
Feist.
and Emily Haynes.
There we go. I was getting them both confused. It's
Yeah.
very hot in here.
Mike Myers from Austin Powers Goldmember.
Specifically?
Yeah, specifically.
Mike Myers, specifically from The Love Guru.
So Summertime Clothes. That's the next song.
I did my third listen to this album today while walking around outside. And can you guess what I was wearing?
Summertime clothes.
I was wearing my summertime clothes, baby.
Hopefully you were wearing clothes outside.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would have been more comfortable if I wasn't. It's very hot.
Yeah, it's really... this situation in here, I'm wearing my summertime clothes right now, and I'm sweating through all of them.
I thankfully live somewhere with very good air conditioning, so I'm doing great right now.
The main house has air conditioning. This room does not.
Oh, God.
That's unfortunate.
Summertime Clothes. I also listened to this album today while walking around. I was at Universal Studios, just kind of like taking it in. and Summertime Clothes I thought it was a bad song in 2009, and I think it's an okay song now.
Yeah.
I really like it.
It's also an okay song to me, but yeah, I understand definitely why it got to be one of the standouts from this album.
Yeah. It absolutely, like, it basically fetishizes hippie wanderlust.
It does.
Yeah.
Like, that's its whole thing. But, like, I really like that kind of sentiment, because it's basically just like, everything's stifling, let's just go do something.
Yeah.
Point out the parks, we're gonna go, like, dance past the cars and listen to the music coming out of the cars. This is also the wettest song on the album.
Yeah, like, but wettest as in sweatiest.
Yeah.
Well, it's sweaty, but also, like, the synth sounds like it's being played through a shallow puddle.
The, that one?
Or the arpeggios, too.
Oh, yeah. We could totally
ding,
cover that.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. Like, it sounds like those speakers are underwater.
Yeah, it does.
And so do his vocals. He sounds like he's gurgling through a glass of water.
He does.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of the down there effect.
Yeah, that is the down there effect right there.
Yep.
That's the first place we heard that.
It's the lyrics basically turn it almost into like a twee pop song. And
oh yeah, like if you did this song with a ukulele, then like Pomplamoose would have covered it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know it's been done with a ukulele though. Let me check YouTube.
Beat Happening could have done this song. And it seems almost the least like an Animal Collective song to me out of all of these, out of the whole track list. Because any artist, it seems like almost any artist at the time with this similar genre could have made this song.
Yeah. That tracks.
It's like, this could be a Yesayer song.
Yeah, for sure. Or an MGMT song.
You know, Yesayer's still putting stuff out?
Yeah, I need to catch back up with them.
They're doing alright. I mean, it's not like Ambling Alp good, but it's like alright.
God, that song is so good.
I got a copy of Odd Blood for Christmas this past year, and I've been spinning that.
Ooh. Odd Blood's still a good album. So is All Our Symbols.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how, like, the amount of bands that came out of, like, 2007 through 2009 that were basically just Animal Collective?
Yeah.
There's actually, like, there's an article that Pitchfork put out earlier this year on the 10-year anniversary that was, like, Animal Collective's Merriweather Post-Pavilion was radical enough to redefine indie music. Why didn't it?
Right.
So it's basically like so much around this time was basically just trying to be Animal Collective, but it's not like a lasting influence. Like, it didn't seem like the Animal Collective effect went anywhere past Centipede Hurt's release.
No, because everybody got so scared of Centipede Hurts.
Yeah.
Of Centipede Hurtsing themselves.
Yeah. That they declined to reach their full potential, which is Centipede Hurting yourself.
Yeah.
The couple of, like, imitation bands, like, maybe they started before, but they definitely, like, tried to put out an Animal Collective album. I can think of a couple just off the top of my head, like Akron Family, or Blind Man's Color, or Danielson. Yeah.
This is like, I am being hurled into the past with some of these names.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the song Sunday by Custom Kings? It sounds exactly like Bros.
No, I don't remember that song.
Is it good?
No, it's not. They're an Australian band that their song Sunday basically copies word for word, not word for word, but like melody for melody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
The "Hey Man, What's Your Problem" section of Bros.
Wow.
It is bad.
But yeah, like if you try to like think of music of like indie music as like as a whole, this almost seems like it would have been like the last time that would be useful, right? Because it like became a lot more fractured after this.
Yes, 100%.
It seems like we got
essentially
about 10 new genres after this.
Yeah, it's like this kind of morphed into a lot of people, like chillwave essentially comes out of sounding like Animal Collective and sounding like the 80s at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then then that's when Pitchfork started covering more pop music. And then now it's like the stannable artists are the indie pop acts of the day, which I'm not necessarily saying is a bad thing. I'm plenty a fan of pop music.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's like it's a completely different environment.
Yeah.
Also, however, before that, you're forgetting the most important part, and the part I missed the most, altered zones.
Oh.
Oh, man.
I haven't thought about that in a while.
Oh, man. That whole week where AVTer curated altered zones was the best week of my life. I learned so much. I'm so sad about altered zones, and I still am 10 years later.
It's wild how many of those blogs from those days are actually still around, and how few are at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Coke Machine Glow is gone. Nobody cares about Tiny Mixtapes anymore. I'm sure they're still around.
Oh, yeah.
They are.
Brooklyn Vegan's still around. They follow me on Twitter now.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. BV is still, like, decent.
Yeah.
I had a...
They are still called Brooklyn Vegan, though.
Yeah. Is there a guy named The Brooklyn Vegan, or is it just, like, did it used to be a website for vegans who lived in Brooklyn?
I don't know. Brooklyn Vegan's a music website, and that's all I've ever known it as.
I actually had a moment akin to... Do you remember that hipster runoff article that was like, the future of indie?
Yes, actually, I do remember that.
I had a very forlorn moment in the car the other day while driving to my partner's job. She works at a media company, I'll say that. Mm-hmm. And I was in the car and driving to, like, get her something that she forgot at home. And I was listening to a re-record of the Carl Show on Sirius XMU. And it was just, like, I felt like a pang of forlorn, like, sadness for indie of, like, 2010.
Yeah.
It's just, like, I don't know. It's a bad feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the thing that you could say that's a definite advantage is that indie of 2010 was really fucking white.
It's true.
Yeah, it sure was.
It was very white and very dude. And,
Yeah.
like, Pitchfork's expansion into rap and hip-hop, and while that's not necessarily, like, good writing, was at least, like, a conscious choice to diversify their like, oeuvre a little bit.
Oh, precisely. It was very, like... It was a good move, even though people are like, oh, Pitchfork is, like, bad for just covering more than indie these days. They sold out. No, they just diversified.
Yeah.
However, they did sell out with their stupid-ass beer website.
Yeah, and the fucking JPEG Mafia at Pitchfork Fest this year kept shouting out Condé Nast, which is really fucking funny.
Oh.
So shout out to JPEG Mafia.
We were talking about Summertime Clothes, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't really have anything else to say about Summertime Clothes.
Nope, it's a song. It sure is a song.
I actually really like it.
Yeah. Next we move into another Panda Bear joint, Daily Routine.
I love it. This song is my son. It is a beautiful song about taking care of your kid.
Yeah.
And then it turns into basically like a dreamscape, would you say, at the end?
Yeah, it's got a really kind of... It's got a similar structure to the song Chores from the previous album.
Yeah.
The song could have been on Strawberry Jam, just based on the way it sounds. It's kind of a nice palate cleanser after Summertime Clothes. The wettest possible song.
This song is like drier.
Yeah, it's like a nice breath mint.
Yeah. Matt, what do you think?
I don't particularly care for Daily Routine. I just think it's too long. Like, it's like the second longest track on the album.
It feels a lot more like you're at their live show when you're listening to this song.
Yeah.
I think, like, the outro, it's like, I get what they're going for with it, but it's too long.
Yeah.
But it does very much, as someone who's currently unemployed and finds it really hard to, like, wake up in the morning, the kind of stretched out feeling of just a sec more in my bed, hope my machine's working right, and, like, the fact that I get, like, really, really, really vivid dreams in the morning that make it really hard to discern what reality is. Mm-hmm. I can really, really, like, feel that feeling, but I don't want to, and so I don't want to hear the song.
Yeah.
I have two quick things to add about this song. One of them is I'm going to lay the groundwork for the concept that I'm going to introduce later on in this album. By my machine, he means his penis. And also the second, by the second half of the song, there is actually a live recording. I can't remember where it is these days. I think it might still be on YouTube, but I can't find a link or anything. This is just kind of emblematic of how big Animal Collective were in 2009, 2010. There is a recording of Daily Routine where people are trying to crowd Noah's sampler while he's trying to play the song. And sometimes he can do those whoop or whoop during the song. Instead, he yells, "Fuck off."
Nice.
He literally just goes, "Fuck off!" And people just, like, back off. And I have never seen Noah Lennox that angry in his life.
God. I went to a
like
Dan Deacon show where he opened for Girl Talk, so obviously it was like a ridiculously huge crowd, and people were getting like super rowdy, and he had to end the show early because like people were throwing water bottles onto his electronics.
When Dan Deacon played in Toronto, someone stole his Trippy Green Skull.
Oh yeah, that was a whole thing.
Yeah.
It showed up in the mail like a year and a half later.
Oh, good.
So he did eventually get it back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like the guys in the band, well, despite the fact that like they're talking about this whole album oozing confidence, this whole album's about anxiety, and these are all like four clearly really introverted guys.
Yeah.
Whose best friends are all each other. I can't imagine some of the live shows were very fun for them.
No.
Yeah.
For sure.
I actually, in 2013, during the Centipede Hurts tour, part of the tour where they had the big, like, inflatable mouth. Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
Yep.
I do remember the mouth.
They had the big inflatable mouth, and people, by the end, when they started doing, like, the encores, like Purple Bottle and My Girls, they would get up on stage, and one of them tried to steal Deacon's notebook.
Jesus.
This is a thing.
that sounds like Animal Collective fans.
This is like a thing that happens repeatedly. Somebody stole Deacon's notebook that show. In 2014, I went to Avi Tara and Bjorn Copeland's show where somebody stole Avi's notebook. And as recently as last year, when they started performing the new songs that are coming out on their next album, which hopefully will come out in the next year or so, somebody stole Avi's notebook there, but instead of like just being quiet about it and disappearing into the night, was a dick on Reddit about it for like a month.
Where they're just like, I stole the notebook.
Yeah. He was like defending it, like, you know what? It was on stage. It was there for me to steal.
Just carry,
like, why
Dave
can't they
Portner away on your shoulder and be like, he is mine now. I found this man. He fit in my car.
It's like it's the fucking Nedroid comic where it's like, you made this? I made this.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you're gonna take something like that, just make a full scan of it and then give it back to them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, have the fruits of your spoils and then fucking give it back.
Just bring your fucking flatbed scanner to the Animal Collective show and scan the whole notebook.
Yeah,
Just take a bunch of pictures with your phone. PC. You could do that. Like, take a picture of every page with your phone. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. I feel like I never saw anybody do that at any of the shows in Minneapolis, just probably because, like, even if people wanted to do it here, they're a little bit too reserved for that. Like, people barely even dance here at shows.
There are fan bases where it gets as bad or worse than that. I just remember the story of the They Might Be Giants fan that stole one of John Linnell's coffee cups out of a garbage can.
What?
Oh my god.
Just, like, stole a coffee cup that he'd used out of a garbage can.
Hold on, you gotta finish the story. Welcome to Giants Confirmed.
There's nothing else to it. They're just a weird person.
Oh, never mind then.
They made a wiki article for the cup on TMBW, and it's rated as the 86th most popular song. John Linnell's
they do have
cup.
They do have a whole tag for songs that have coffee mentions in them.
Yeah, they famously love coffee. Let's move on. After Daily
The machine
Routine,
is his penis. The machine is his penis. I get it. Let's go.
Yeah.
After Daily Routine comes Bluish.
I should see even up for boys there just to meet from far away. I can see you call your face when you pull your hair. When we're alone, I wanna say
Man, Bluish is a perfect setup for, like, it's a good 1-2 punch for the next song.
Yeah.
Bluish is also very much a song that I can imagine, like, a twee indie person covering on a ukulele.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, those two songs on this album, to me, are the most that
They're the
vibe.
tweest.
Yeah. It's an AV Tear love song. It's really reminiscent of Feels to me.
Yes.
It seems like kind of a mix of, like, Flesh Canoe and The Purple Bottle. But it's kind of a little bit flatter, maybe, than those two songs.
So it's a mix of the song about the vagina and the song about the penis.
Correct.
Got it.
Yes.
It's a song about fucking.
I was taken aback when I found out Flesh Canoe was about Noah.
Yeah.
Well, not taken aback, just kind of like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
But, like, you called it Flesh Canoe.
You did.
Yeah.
It's evocative.
There's talking about being naked in the mirror of the bathroom in that song.
It's, Animal Collector's hornier than we think, y'all.
Just a little bit.
And MPP is peak horny for them.
Yeah.
It really is, eh?
This song is AV Tear just obsessing over little things about the person that he loves, you know. It gets back into Watery Town. There's there's that watery kind of snap sound effect that keeps happening, and I swear that I've heard that sample in tons of other bands in this era.
Yeah.
The kind of in the background.
This song is like wet, but in the horny way, but also like wet in the water way.
Yeah.
It's very much like a puppy love kind of song.
Yes.
The way that it's built. Also, I just want to make a note. It's so hard for me only to get the urge to kiss you there. Quote, Jon Snow in Game of Thrones to Ygritte in the cave. It's about eating pussy. Thank you.
Jon Snow got lost in her curls.
It fucking fits.
Yeah.
AV Tear wrote this about Game of Thrones.
Yeah. 2 years before the show premiered.
Yeah, way, like, so early before. I like this song. It's never been played live. That's a cool tidbit, mostly because AV says, quote unquote, we lost a cable that we needed to play it.
Come on!
That's... Hey, Dave, just say you don't want to play the song about eating pussy live. Just, like, say it.
Or, like, you don't want to play the song that's about your ex-wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he plays the other songs that are about his ex-wife, so I guess that wouldn't really fly.
The whole song was on one mini disc, and they lost the mini disc.
It was like Food Fight. The masters got stolen.
Yeah.
It is. The song is a very good like bookend to the whole Pull Hair Rabbi era, though. Mm-hmm. It does feel like where that partnership would have gone eventually. But, you know, didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
You hate to hear it.
Yeah, and then the title is just after like the last lines of the song talking about the not exactly blue eyeshadow. Mm-hmm. They don't actually say bluish, though.
No.
It's just implied. Like the pussy eating.
I mean, it's not implied. It's very much like it's very heavy-handed.
Heavy-tongued?
Heavy-tongued. It's very heavy-tongued. The next song, however, is very heavy-handed.
Yeah, it is.
We talking guys' eyes.
Oh my god, Noah Lennox jack-off anthem.
Famously referred to God.
So let me just translate the lines. I really want to do just what my body wants to. I want to jerk off. I really want to do what my body needs to. I want to jerk off. If I could hold all the thoughts in my head and just keep them for you, if I could not look at other people and want to jerk off and only think about you and want to jerk off, I really want to show my girl that I want her by having sex with her. If I could purge all the urges that I have and keep them for you to jerk off, I really want to show a girl that I need her, but I keep it locked right now. not jerking off. So I used my mind and I used my hand, thinking and then using the thoughts to jerk off.
It was
Stephanie
what I wanted
walked
to
back
do.
in at a really good time.
I feel like this was putting this song right after Bluish is a power move on I'm gonna assume it was Deacon's part.
Deacon sequenced the album.
He was like, oh, check out my friend David having all that sex. How about we put the Noah jerk-off song immediately after that?
Yeah, here's the song about me not having sex. How about that shit?
It's very it's the For Reverend Green fireworks of like having sex.
But yeah, I guess the whole title, The Guy's Eyes, are like the wandering eyes, right? So he's just like, looking around and he's getting all horny.
The male gaze.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Which, this song with Bluish, they're 2 male gaze songs in a row.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Right? Like, I really noticed that today when I was going over the lyrics, and that is exactly what it is.
Uh-huh.
And then if you really think about, like, you think about Noah's, like, family songs, they're all kind of, like, really paternalistic. And, like, you start to see, like, a weird gender dynamic with the whole album. And, like, the fact that it is just, like, 4 white dudes in a band together really starts to, like, come to the fore when you think about all that together.
4 white dudes.
Which I guess I
Adobe
never really
slabs.
considered before.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like it's not a bad album because of this, but, like, it's really just something that comes to mind a lot more readily now than it would have perhaps when I was 18.
Yeah, 10 years ago. Yeah. The break here where he says "need her" over and over again, there was like very, very briefly a meme about how it sounds like he's saying "need poo." Like, need poo, need poo, need poo.
Well, I mean, he just wants to do what his body wants to, which is take a huge shit. He needs to drop a deuce.
Yeah, so he used his mind.
And he used his hand.
Oh my god. This is the official sequel to the meme from like 2009, 2010 that's like Noah Lennox spent 1.5 years in prison for punching a 12-year-old in the face.
God, I forgot about that one. And that was also just the prequel to Wayne Coyne Arrested.
Yeah. Wayne Coyne Arrested was like the Bioshock to that one, System Shock 2.
Which, yeah, once we eventually do Zyreka, you need to be on for that one too.
Oh, absolutely. That was my original plan.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I have Kleenex next to me so that I can clean up after this song.
I mean, I know it's not a podcast with me on it until I say come, so I'm just going to say the word come now.
Just get that out of the way.
Just get that out of the way. This is the come song. Thank you very much.
I mean, the last one was also the come song in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This song isn't as wet as Bluish.
No, it's not.
It's definitely not, but it also, like, it sounds like jacking off in the jungle.
The loop of like
Jack in
drumstick noises.
The jungle, watch out for that cum.
There's a loop that is in the percussion section of like drumstick noises, like hitting the rims of drums. It reminds me of like the days where that was primarily what he did in the band, was be the drummer.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, there's a wonderful video of them playing Cuckoo Cuckoo where he just destroys a whole drum kit.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That explains the dynamics of that song, if that's kind of what they were aiming for.
He's got that hand strength.
Yeah.
I actually, and now that you mentioned like the drum fills and the way they stack together in this song, I really like the way this song progresses and builds.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of overlapping vocals. Some of them are just him, and there's definitely some AV ones in there as well. And then just like the rim hits of the snare.
Yeah,
because that's like the primary basis of the rhythm there. It's really good the way it builds.
So, and this is just me tanking this entire episode. But do you think AV's the Chad in this situation?
If I had to dynamics this band, yes.
Yeah.
But realistically, it's a band of 4 virgins.
Yeah.
Like, Noah may have children, but he has virgin energy.
Everybody but Deacon has children. No, and Deacon and Avi have children.
Geologist has kids? That's cute.
Yeah, he's got a kid.
So they also wear headlamps?
Yes, little headlamp boys.
Oh, I love it.
Deacon's Chad move was taking everyone's Kickstarter money and going on a spirit quest.
Cause see, Deacon wasn't on this album. He was busy fucking off and I think he went to Africa, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what he raised the Kickstarter money for, and then he never released the album that was supposed to come from that.
Right.
Yeah, he did, however, go to Africa and then write the best album of 7 years later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Took
He
a while.
designed some sleeping bag shoes.
Nice shoes. I still have the original ones.
Yeah.
How much would it cost, do you think, to get a custom printed Vans that has the Merriweather Post Pavilion album art on it?
Like $40.
Really?
Yeah, Nike, at least in the US, has this thing called Nike ID, or Vans has the same thing, where you can get printed shoes for fairly cheap.
Okay. I might have to consider this for my next shoe.
I didn't know you could upload
I just
your
wear
own
Vans
image to
now.
those.
You can. Yeah, I did it with the Panera meets the Grim Reaper art back in 2015.
Nice. Cool.
I didn't buy the shoe. It was expensive.
The truest stan of all time.
I need to actually buy that album at some point.
Can I just, this has nothing to do with Merriweather Post Pavilion, but there's a lot of animosity towards Sonic Boom in this fandom and in this
I feel like you instilled that in me more than anyone else.
I love him though. I always loved him.
Even around the Tomboy release? That doesn't sound right.
Well, maybe not initially, but I grew to love him, and we interacted many a time over collected animals.
Yeah.
He's such a nice guy. He was the one who basically promised that we would get every song from the Grim Reaper sessions released.
Sick.
Nice.
We begged him for it, and he was like, "Oh, fine, I'll talk to Noah." And Noah
that's why he puts out so many EPs, right?
Yeah.
He's been pretty prolific lately.
Yeah.
The last couple of years.
That's why, because we all bullied him into releasing everything he had.
See? Virgin energy. This means you're the Chad.
Yeah. Guy's Eyes was originally performed in Panda Bear setlists under the name Song for Ariel. And that was, I think, when he was still mostly performing kind of in the person pitch style, where he would layer the acoustic samples on top of each other, kind of in the style of the album Allegranza by El Guincho.
What a good album.
Yeah, shout out to El Guincho. He his latest album, Hyperasia, is really good. Anyway.
Yeah. Is that all for Guy's Eyes?
The Ariel in question, wasn't that Ariel Pink?
Is it?
I hope not, 'cause that guy's a creep.
That guy is a creep.
He sucks ass.
They are basically responsible for making Ariel Pink.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because Ariel Pink was the first thing released on Paw Tracks that wasn't one of the band, right?
Wasn't it Tickly Feather?
They did release a bunch of Black Dice stuff, I think, as well.
Either way, fuck Ariel Pink. We're never covering one of his albums.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Just a total creepazoid.
He's an asshole.
Yeah, and an asshole. Also just notedly a creepazoid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taste?
Taste. This
This is my sleeper best song in the album. I fucking love Taste.
Taste is my MVP.
Good. It's one of the first songs I heard from this album, in a very early version, and I think it was from a live performance, and then they also did the La Blogotech performance of it, where they're pushing. I think they're pushing Avi Terror around in a shopping cart.
Yeah, in a shopping cart. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna watch that before this, and then I forgot to. But please put a clip of it in here.
I will.
Just the audio, because it sounds so different.
Do you remember when the most watched Animal Collective video on YouTube was it was Taste, but it was called Tasty Place at the time, from the MIDI festival in France?
Oh god, yeah. I remember that.
I would assume that their most played video would just be them doing Covered in Frogs.
Oh, that Covered in Frogs performance is good, though.
Yeah.
It is. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Because it is very much just two guys with guitars yelling.
Yeah,
it's very much it's fucking Andy Samberg on Brooklyn Nine-Nine trying to get information out of an informant by playing a guitar and screaming at him, but there's two of them and it's in a bookshop and people are there listening to it on purpose.
Yep.
And David Portner kind of looks like Andy Samberg also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, also, speaking of funny Animal Collective performances, shout out to the performance they did in 2004 at Other Music in New York City. What a good set. I don't know if y'all have heard that one, but they do a bunch of early Here Comes the Indian stuff.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, the live stuff from around then is really, really weird, and a lot of it seems almost like you had to be there type of thing, but at the same time, if you kind of put yourself in that mindset, you want to get yourself back into that period of Animal Collective, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Listening to Holland again, for example.
Mm-hmm. The thing that always strikes me about the Covered in Frogs performance is how well they're harmonizing while literally just screaming and banging on a guitar.
Yeah.
They've been in sync forever. Yeah. But anyways, Taste. Am I really all the things that are outside of me? This song almost seems like it's making fun of the very, tastemaker hipsters that brought them to prominence.
Mm-hmm. It is, yeah.
And that's very good.
It's the equivalent of that line from Carrots, from Person Pitch, that's about, don't listen to those websites to try to change your style.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's also, I think, a lyrical pair to the sentiment in My Girls, where it's don't care about these things because you can't eat those. They're looking for be practical. You don't follow the trends, and don't go changing clothes when they don't like yours.
Do you appreciate the subtleties of taste buds?
Yeah, I sure do.
And also, just this song sounds really fucking cool.
It just does. I want to try
arpeggio. I want to try to make that arpeggio on a Game Boy.
I mean,
I have LSDJ. I could do it.
Yeah.
There's a whole... So this Genius page is actually missing the whole Panda Bear half of the verses.
Yes. And yeah, because I was trying to think of what he's saying between the two verses as well, because he has that kind of overdub.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. So I might have to... Do you have them handy?
I do have them handy. Collected Animals has a whole lyrics website. That is actually super interesting. Let's go to Taste over here. He is saying, I don't get them, not their hearts, their tastes. There's no need to protect my comforts. Serious threats. And then, I know that body's built like rock, but I'll take you on. How would you talk to all your kids? Keep them on your knee.
Huh.
Yeah.
I like it.
Because, they're just talking at the same time.
Yeah. It's the same effect that you'll hear in Brother Sport later on, where they're just saying different things.
Yeah, but at least in Brother Sport on the Genius, they're all...
Yeah.
They have the lines from both halves. And, what other song? Line in a Coma does it, too.
It does, yes.
Because they're saying lines at the same time.
Taste is a very, very good song. It's not my favorite on the album, but it's incredible.
The song, it's kind of... It does this... It stays at the same level... without really any build-up or letdown throughout the whole song. It's a burrito song. It's that perfectly wrapped foil package.
It's a good 7.4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not splattered on the windshield.
No.
But yeah, it's very consistent too. That arpeggio is pretty much throughout, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the the bass patch is running the same note sequence the whole time as well. I think the thing that mostly changes are the overdubs, and also I think the percussion changes throughout as well.
A little bit, yes.
it's a remarkably consistent song on an album that's mostly made out of builds.
Yeah, this is our geologist appreciation song, I think.
We love Geologist, but it is the smoking mids of MPP.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not about weed, you stupid fucking stoner.
No, it's not weed.
Does anyone in this chat smoke weed? No!
Anyone in this chat smoke beer or drink weed?
No.
And yeah, the part at the end of the song where the "Am I really all the things that are outside of me" is looping, and they're bringing overdubs like kind of in and out. So they build it. This is the kind of spot where it builds a little bit, because there's one point where it drops one of the overdubs, and it's just like you could just hear the percussion and the arpeggio going for like I think it's the last 4 of them. Mm-hmm. And I really, really like that effect.
Oh yeah, it is good.
I'm grooving while that's going.
Yeah, I'm tasting something good.
Do you appreciate the subtleties of taste buds?
I'm tasting something good.
Do you appreciate the subtleties of taste bud?
Hey, bud?
Bud?
Hey, bud?
Buddy?
Hey, buddy, do you appreciate the subtleties of taste? Go take a walk off a short pier.
I hate lying in a coma.
Hey.
Lying in a coma.
When all is mess will get weaving in and out on the sidewalks full of rich down. My nervous tick has got to when my cheeks are chewed down to the bit up on the roof and still around the hustling crowd still gets down. Going there and I ain't been rich all 2 years later. Out there living on someone else that's back.
How about it?
I hate it so much.
Let's talk about that. Why do you hate Lying in a Coma?
I hate Lying in a Coma. I hate the sample. I hate the way the words kind of weave through the song.
Okay.
I hate the chorus, the Wilderness Up in My Head chorus. It's just
I don't like the chorus. I could give you that.
The only good thing about the song is the end, the lying in a coma, who wants to smell the fine aroma.
Yeah.
But I can't do the rest of the song.
This song is very about depression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the chorus kind of ruins that.
Yeah.
The wilderness needs to get right out of my clothes and get into my bedroom sounds way too horny for a depression song. And I don't like that line at all. I really like the sample. The sample's fucking cool. Fuck you.
I do like it. It makes it because the sample is in a certain weird time signature, it forces the rest of the song to also be in that time signature, which I think is 9/8 time. So every measure has 9 beats, which leads to some really, really weird scansion in the lyrics.
Yeah, he is like all over the place.
When all this mess will get me down, I depart from Chinatown.
Yeah, but I also get the same. We're talking future now, but I get the same feeling from the song "The Burglars" that they put out on Painting With, and that's a better song. And
that song's in a regular time signature.
Yeah, but they still stuff 40,000 words in there.
Uh-huh.
This song reminds me of every Animal Collective song written by Deacon, where instead of writing simple lyrics, he writes a college essay. If you think about songs like Wide Eyed or
Country Report.
Wide Eyed. Yeah, Country Report.
I want to take a note and just highlight a specific line.
Yeah.
But if I let my wrist get tired, that's about jerking off.
That's 100% about jerking off. Why is this album so horny? I'm just realizing this now.
But if I let my spirit cry out, that's cum, baby!
Oh my god. Can we add a little, a cheering sound effect there after you said cum?
Can you just put a little boing in there?
Yeah. That's gonna become, the fucking I'm on the edge thing from Punch Up the Jam.
Oh, sorry, it's gonna become?
Yeah.
This is the Winter Wonderland of Merriweather Post Pavilion. And in that I
Winter
also
Wonderland
don't
fucking rules.
I barely like Winter Wonderland.
Man. This is one spot where the Genius annotations I kind of like for the end of the song, where it's just the way he's repeating the chorus almost just seems like it's he's lending himself to the defeat of the depression that he's in.
Yeah.
And I think that really works. Wants to use his aching bones, wants to run but cannot roam, lying in a coma, wants to smell the fine aroma. And the way that it's repeated isn't really consistent.
Yeah. That's good. I like that.
Well, that's your favorite part of the song, right? Was that ending part?
Exactly.
And I think that's the best part of the song, so...
It's just that, like, it's very much the winter wonderland of this album because it prevents me from getting to, honestly, two of the best songs on the album. Cuckoo Cuckoo and Derek. No More Running Brother Sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like if they had to cut any song on the album, I think this one would probably be first.
Yeah.
And then for me, the other one would probably be Daily Routine.
I would cut Summertime Clothes, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I could go either Summertime Clothes or Line in a Coma.
Because I feel like this could have been a strong 9-track album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was their stand. That was what they'd done in the last two.
Yeah, for sure.
The last two were both 9-trackers.
Nine little trick tracks.
Yeah, 9 little trick tracks. 9 little paw tracks.
9 little chick tracts.
Yeah, all these songs are chick tracks. They're about the Lord.
They are.
You think they're about cum? No, they're about Jesus.
The people were astounded at his doctrine.
Can we move on?
You know who the dancer was? It was God.
And God was high in a field. Yeah, no more running.
No More Running is my favorite song on this album.
Okay.
It's real good.
I'm just gonna lead off with that. No More Running is basically like...
Coming out strong.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that many lyrics for how long the song is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a nice break period in the album. It's like the rest of the album is so like in your face, like either just super wet or super dancey. You feel like you're like in a club and you go off to the side room where you can like have a nice drink of water. And that's what this song is.
Basically No More Running is like, I don't know, it feels like the feeling of like just kind of letting go and giving up.
Yeah.
Almost. That it's just like, I don't know, it has sort of like a final feel to me. If Brother Sport didn't exist and this was the last song on the album, I'd be all right.
Yeah, if you didn't know that Brother Sport was a song at all.
Yeah. Exactly. That's no shade on Brother Sport. It's one of the greatest songs ever written. But if that song, like, if you somehow got a copy of Merriweather Post Pavilion and didn't have Brother Sport on it, I would have been like, okay.
That's
it, I guess.
That's a cool bonus track.
Yeah. That's the iTunes bonus track.
Here's another spot where, fuck you, genius. The way that they interpret the lyrics is like the person who, when they're too into a relationship, like gives up on all their friends.
Ooh.
And like that's not what I get out of friends I once had turn their thoughts away from me.
No, not at all.
Like,
No.
what's your take on it?
To me, that just seems like, you know, being in your late 20s or whatever, you end up just not seeing everybody who you used to hang out with almost every day as much as you do, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, the No More Running to me, like, basically just feels like the whole of your 20s is, like, you know, trying to gather as many experiences as you can, but, like, he's found, like, a happy place, happy relationship, which, you know, real sad in retrospect, but...
Yeah.
Because there
like,
are he definitely has marriage songs on this album, which are very sad in retrospect.
He basically, like, he got there and he's not running anymore. Well, I mean, I'm sure he's still not running now. He lives on, like, a cow farm now.
Yeah.
But
Good for him.
he lives in, like, North Carolina, I think, now.
Yeah, sure.
The line about I've got to breathe on back porches with the torch of a firefly lit tree. The genius annotation there, I think, probably isn't, like, you know, true, but I think it does kind of ring true to me a little bit about how it's a little reminiscent of the album Campfire Songs.
Yeah.
Because
Well, yeah,
they
like,
recorded
that's-
that whole album on a back porch, basically live.
And, like, that's very, like, reminiscing to, like, the earlier days of, like, his youth, basically.
Yeah, before
His
they got all the
experiences with his
success.
friends.
Yeah, that I'm willing to, like, agree with both of your interpretations. That's actually, like, that's better than what this Hell page has.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like musically, it's a very good song. Another really strong point towards like the Avi, Tara, and Noah Lennox are completely in tune with how they harmonize with each other.
Yeah.
Because those It's What I Hope For sound so fucking good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where they kind of go down. They kind of like slide down and go back up. Oh.
Whoa. This song reminds me of Street Flash on the Water Curses EP.
Yes. Okay, yeah, they are very, very, very much of the same.
Sure, yeah.
Street Flash, Water Curses is a wet EP in general. Street Flash is a very wet song.
Yeah.
Like, they went right with the name on that one.
Extremely damp.
Yeah.
They want to be like water.
It's damp curses. It's just damp swears.
Do y'all remember back when MPP was coming out, when the band they put out those like web ads that repeatedly referred to the album as, "Hey, we're Animal Collective. This is our damp new album."
No, but that sounds very funny.
Repeatedly and insistently. Panda Bear walked out of an interview once because the interviewer said that the album wasn't wet.
Is that interviewer fucking deaf?
This didn't happen, but I'm also like, this is a bit.
And that interviewer was Albert Einstein.
God damn it. I can't believe I've been owned on this day.
Hey, we're Animal Collective. Just kind of like radio shout out from like Nirvana. Mm-hmm. A voice. Hey, we're Animal Collective, and this is our wet new album, Merriweather Post Pavilion. We got our first single, Brother Sport. It's super wet, premiering right now.
We got Will Oldham to take a picture of us in a quarry. That's a reference.
It sure
boy.
Is. Are we ready for Brother Sport?
I think we're ready for Brother Sport.
Emotionally, are we?
I think so. I think we're at a point in our lives where we can accept it into our hearts.
We're ready to.
I just want to note that I am on this song.
Yeah, Matt.
That's me.
Matt!
That's what we have to have as a clip. It's just the Matt. Whenever I start getting off topic, you can just slam that. You could slam that MF Matt button.
That's actually not a bad idea.
My favorite thing about this song is its single cover that looks like nuts.
Yeah, it does look like nuts.
Oh boy, does it!
I mean, I call it sports ball.
The song is also about sports ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also about chakras.
Is it?
Okay, open up your throat. The throat chakra is linked with the concept of honesty and openness. Mm-hmm. Open up your throat. Right there. It's right fucking there.
Little bit of a reach, maybe.
It's about chakras, goddammit.
He's writing to his brother about, I guess, how he can flourish and take control of his life, even though their father has passed on.
Mm-hmm. I know it sucks that Daddy's done is probably the worst way to phrase it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, this is like as clumsy as like, hey man, what's your problem?
You know, it ends up not mattering, but yes, when you look at it that closely, it is kind of stupid sounding.
I'm reading here that apparently Noah's father died in 2002.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like quite a way before this was written.
This song came out and was written in at least 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, what were you doing for years?
Come on, Matt.
What the hell?
I don't know, playing Pokemon.
Matt in 2007 was curating his top 8 and
sliding Poly 6 in and out of my top 8 on MySpace.
Yeah.
Trying to get that shiny ponyta.
Yeah.
Sum 41 2011.
This
Live in Ontario.
Brother Sport is a wonderful fucking song.
Yeah, it's the jam. The drums are like addictive. You get the closest to an Aviator scream during this song.
Yeah. Well, live you get the actual thing.
Yeah.
Them just screaming at each other, one saying support your brother and the other one saying sport brother.
Yeah. Again, listen to Live at 9:30.
It's so good. The one thing I don't like about the song is that Ed Droste got sent to maximum security prison because he posted the song on his blog by the web sheriff.
Yeah.
The entire band got legally threatened because Ed Droste posted an MP3 that he got from somewhere else.
Oh boy.
So they were not. Yeah, I was trying to think if they were on the same label at this point, but they wouldn't have been.
No.
They were on Warp.
Yeah, Grizzly Bear was on Warp.
Were they both on Warp at this point?
No.
Animal Collective was on Domino.
They were never on Warp. They were always on Domino. Yeah, okay, that tracks. But they were friends with each other, and they were contemporaries. Yes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's something like if they were on the same label, then that'd be bonkers.
It'd be kind of bonkers.
Pretty bonkers, kind of bonkers, really bonkers. It's weird because in 2007, I don't know if you remember how Strawberry Jam got leaked.
No.
It got leaked in like 2 tracks at a time. And at one point during an interview, Geologist was like, just leak the whole fucking thing already. And for some reason, their whole approach to leaks went completely... I mean, it probably wasn't their fault, but it went, like, completely berserk for Merriweather. Like, if a song even leaked, I think the person would be, like disappeared in the middle of the night.
Well, yeah, because they were, like, watermarking their tracks at that point, weren't they? Like, the promo tracks and stuff?
So was Strawberry.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone like does digital watermarking now.
Yeah.
It's a lot more subtle.
Yeah, and albums don't really leak anymore. Like they don't make them like they used to.
But yeah,
good.
This song was in the playlist at my wedding reception.
Yeah.
So we all got to eat some wedding food while listening to Brother Sport, and also I have a video of Matt dancing to I Believe in a Thing Called Love by The Darkness that same day.
Yes.
Fuck.
I was wearing cool space shoes and a suit.
Yeah.
And I was like, Hannibal Buress, look at my suit.
Yeah, look at my suit.
The lyrics of this song, I understand what he's going for, but like, you gotta get rid of the morning is also a terrible line.
Yeah.
You can't really think about the lyrics of any part of this song really well. Except for, and then you get to like the until you're fully grown, you got a real good shot, won't help to hold inside, keep it real, give a real shout out. And that repeated to the end of the song, fucking rules.
I will, Noah. I will give a real shout out.
I want to give a real shout out to this song because it has helped me through so much.
Like the rhythm of those lines, the way they build with the background vocals, the way they build with the synths and the various loops that they've been like flitting around throughout the whole song. Because like there's the part where it goes into the breakdown where it's doing like that whistle back and forth.
Yeah.
And then it kind of it settles into like a more calm groove, a lot like the opening of Peacebone, where it like goes from the chaos into like the more regular beat. Very, very similar construction the way they did that.
I love the pew.
And then like yeah. And then and then it just builds for the rest of the song. It's like 3 minutes jam, and then live it's like an 8-minute jam.
Yeah,
longer even. I remember during shows they would start off basically by starting with like the shaker.
Yeah,
and then hit the boom boom sounds.
Yeah.
For maybe like 3 minutes. The middle part would go so long until they started screaming at each other, and it looked like you were watching like your parents argue in front of you. Yeah.
Dad and dad are getting divorced on stage.
Until it just finally just goes into that blissed out, like, wonderful ending. And then even sometimes, like, live, it would continue beyond that.
Yeah, like they just built other parts into it.
Yeah, it's a hell of a song to hear live.
Yeah, this
was definitely the
song that got me the most hyped for this album to come out when it leaked. Because I think I think at my student union in college, eating a bowl of greasy Panda Express food, and then I found the MP3 of this song, and I threw it on my iPod and listened to it, and I'm like, okay, well, my day's better now.
Oh, hold on, wait, I'm getting a phone call. Wait, hello? Web Sheriff? Oh, yeah, he's right here. I don't call the cops, but I'll call you.
Hello, I'm on my What CD account, and
I downloaded the song from Soulseek.
Oh my...
I went to sitemediafire.com, brother sport, MP3, 320.
It never worked.
Yeah.
The 320 never worked, but the rest of it totally did.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's why you had to go to... God, music was a lawless fucking wasteland for so long.
It was.
Like,
When
web piracy, I guess.
When did it stop being like this? Was it when we all got What CD accounts, or like...
I think it's when we all got What CD accounts, and then also
when streaming
people would give away MP3s on their blog. People would release music digitally and made it more accessible. So I started buying it. I am Matt, the Bandcamp purchaser. That's my legal name now.
Yeah.
I've bought well over 300 releases on Bandcamp at this point. Yeah, I think it's just the greater accessibility to it, and the fact that MediaFire and Mega Upload had huge clampdowns on content. Because MediaFire was wide open for ages.
Oh,
yeah,
you could just do whatever on it.
It was so wide open that if you really wanted to, you could steal a whole Atlas Sound album.
Oh God, that sure happened, didn't it?
It sure did.
Then you just released a completely different version of the album.
Yeah, and even that was different to the version that actually did come out.
Yeah, I think I still have the different versions of it.
There are 3 of them.
There's a lot of changes. Yeah, I have two of them. Whatever the original leak was, and then whatever the final version was. Whatever ones were in the middle, I don't have.
I think the oldest album leak that I still have sitting around that's not the same thing as the final release is Beck's Guero album.
Ooh.
I have
with the 8-minute version of Scarecrow just sandwiched in the middle there.
I have the original version of Best Coast's 2010 album,
the Seinfeld one.
Yes, which is 30-second samples of the songs followed by a Seinfeld episode.
I still have, and this one's not as funny. I have the leaked version of "Hail to the Thief" that has a ton of different versions of the songs.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's unmastered-ish. So it was. I mean, it's all right.
It'll be good to talk about on your podcast, which we're probably going to have to plug at the end of this show.
Yeah,
what
probably.
Podcast? I don't do any podcasts besides this. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, we're pretty much at the outro. We can move into final thoughts.
Yeah. That's Merriweather Post Pavilion. It's probably still the most popular Animal Collective album 10 years later.
Yep.
My favorite song on it is probably Brother Sport, if I had to pick one. But it's just a really solid album, pretty top to bottom.
I think this album holds up a lot better than I ever thought it would back in 2009, because I very much got sick of this album in the 2009 to 2011 stretch, because I played the hell out of it. And I was looking at my iTunes counts, because my iTunes library is about as old as this album, so I have accurate play counts for everything. And I have very few albums that go into the 30s and 40s numbers territory, because I'm way too scatterbrained for that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But this one has a lot of them. And I especially did not think My Girls was going to hit this hard this much later, because that song was overplayed to a point of ridiculousness.
Yeah, where
after
if you remember,
while.
We were all just making fun of it constantly.
Yeah, it was a meme. Play My Girls was a meme.
It was.
It was a meme akin to Come to Brazil.
Fucking Come to Brazil.
Yeah.
Which has now moved from Last FM comments to YouTube comments to Facebook comments.
Is Brother Sport basically Animal Collective's Come to Brazil moment?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's the song that sounds the most like Alegranza on the whole album.
Yeah.
And of anything they ever produced.
I love this album. I used to hate it because it was popular.
Like you do.
And yeah.
But then you just grew the fuck up and realized it's actually good.
Yeah.
And
it's
I probably still wouldn't call it my favorite Animal Collective release.
Yeah.
Strawberry Jam exists.
Yeah, we talked about this on Twitter the other day, how MPP is an album that has MPP on it, but it doesn't have Strawberry Jam on it.
Yeah, exactly.
If they released like if they released a double LP, it would be good.
But it is a incredibly solid album. No More Runnin', like I said, is my favorite song on this album, mostly because it's different. It's different. Mm-hmm. It's not like anything I'd heard on the album before. Well, I hadn't really heard this album before. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And like it just the legacy of it and the fact that it created a big ripple in the industry for a very short time was very, very, very good. And I'm very grateful for the times that we have been through together, me and MPP. Yeah. And also the art on Genius is backwards.
Classic.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very singular album. It's a very album of its time. But I think it really holds up. Like a 9.6 doesn't even seem like a weirdly high score for it. Like it works.
Yeah. Yeah. It redefined a lot of stuff that was going on at the time. So I think
I mean, as I'll say,
in terms
Pitchfork,
of influence, yeah.
As I'll say, for Pitchfork, for $1, give a 10 to a woman. But
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I could see its legacy is still. It's strong, although it's not. It didn't end up being as influential as it probably should have been. Probably because people realized that doing what Animal Collective does is a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the last 10 they gave out?
The last 10 they gave out was My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Really? So
other than reissues, which they'll give 10s to all the time.
Oh yeah, they give 10s out like candy to read.
But that is absolutely the last one.
Wow.
Like they seem to. I feel like the 2006 to like 2011 era Pitchfork was a little more generous with 9s than they are now.
Sure.
Because I feel like the main things that have gotten 9s in recent years have been like subsequent Kanye and Kendrick releases. I think Solange got a 9. Like it's a lot more rare, whereas we'd regularly get like 5 or 6 9s a year.
Oh yeah.
And those would be like your general. They'd be 5 or 6 out of the top 10 that year.
Yeah,
because we're talking 2009.
The year before this, Nouns by No Age got a 9.2 or something.
It would never fucking get that now.
Oh, absolutely not.
Even though Nouns is absolutely a 9.2 album, first of all, it would be reviewed by Ian Cohen, and second of all, it would get a 7.9 because Ian Cohen is not allowed to give Best New Musics.
Yeah, it would
get like a 6.8.
Yeah.
God, Nouns fucking slaps, dude.
Yeah, Nouns is fucking great, but knowing like 2019 Pitchfork...
Yeah, no, it would not fly.
No.
It's not constructed enough.
No.
Because they're all about like the intricate albums, which like fair, but at the same time, it's not the only shit.
It wouldn't be like...
I want two men just going hog wild.
Here's the thing, they're not gonna like... They wrote that whole like Pine Grove... redemption piece that like pissed me off, and they are never going to give like a 10 to some like I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I'm mad about Pitchfork reviews lately.
Well, so now when I'm thinking about it, it's just like that all the artists that I named are like like mainstream recording artists. Like when do they don't give things to like new up and comers much anymore?
No, they don't.
If they'll get a Best New Music, it'll be a low 8.
Yeah.
I mean, however,
like the hedging bets kind of score.
They did yesterday give 8.3 to Burna Boy, who I'd never heard of before.
Again, a low 8.
That's
It's the hedging bets score. Like I can't imagine anything like them giving a 9 to Broken Social Scene's second album like they did way back in the day, and basically like creating Broken Social Scene out of whole cloth.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because that was a huge moment. Like that would be like I could honestly consider that like the start of their Tastemaker era.
Yeah, how did you deal with the fame?
It was pretty cool. I hadn't really served my term yet, but I was aware of the band.
That took me a couple seconds. I'm ashamed of how long that took me.
But yeah, I'm trying to think other 9s of the year. So 2009 would have been Grizzly Bears. Vecadamist got over a 9.
Mm-hmm.
I think Raekwon's album that came out that year got a 9.
Only Built for Cuban Links Part 2?
Yeah. And if it didn't, it was at least it ranked above some things in their top 10 list that year. So if it got any lower, like functionally list wise, it ended up higher. I'm really curious now. The best albums of 2000 pitch. Oh yeah, Bite Orca was.
Bite Orca, yeah. Man, I can't listen to that album anymore.
I can't listen to that album anymore, and I definitely can't listen to any of the like modern Dirty Projectors, which is just how sad he is that all the women left his band.
Yeah, exactly.
Golly, I wonder why.
It's upsetting. I think that the latest not the latest. Well, the latest one is still kind of sad because it's just like, oh, you're really doing this. But the one before, the 2017 one, was complaints for like an hour.
Yeah, I did not care for it.
Yeah.
The XX put out their album that year, but it didn't get a 9. Embryonic got a 9.
Oh, that's right. I've never heard that album before. I don't know what you're talking about.
Wayne Coyne Arrested. It got a 9. Yeah.
Wolfgang Amadeus Phoenix
didn't get a 9 though.
Yeah. Didn't get a 9?
No, it got like an 8.5.
Wow. Huh. It's better than it was in 2009.
It got a 1901.
Okay, first of all, nice. And second of all, the Raekwon album got an 8.8, so I was close.
Oh. Did Girls get a
9? Girls was
actually the best album of 2009.
Because it is the best album of 2009.
I was about to say Girls' album didn't come out in 2009, and then I remembered that that's literally the first line of that copy pasta.
Yeah, exactly.
Girls got a 9.1, but it was their 10th best album of the year.
Huh.
Okay.
That was really a time. Like, looking at this top 10 is like it's a time warp.
Yeah, for sure.
It's bonkers. It's bonkers to look at.
That's actually a good source for future episodes, I think.
Yeah.
Is the top list.
Fever Ray was also on the list that year.
Damn. Yeah, that's a good one. So, I think that's a pretty good spot to wrap up. Are we ready for plugs?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't actually. I'm going bald, but I'm not like that bald yet.
Wig.
I'm bald right now. I'm David. I started this show with my good friend Matt.
Hi.
Of Noisepace.xyz, the podcast network that he runs, and so nicely gives me a space on. You can find me on Twitter at Dave's, spelled like waves, except with 3 V's.
Like the album.
Like the album, like the funny landlord. I also have a show called The Stick, which I do with Eden, who is a friend of the show, and it's a show about Homestar Runner. And we're going to do another episode soon, I promise.
Mace, go guest on it. You like Homestar Runner, right?
I love Homestar 10.
There we go. Just guest on every Noise Space podcast now that you've joined.
I feel like I'm just gonna I'm gonna be the Paul F. Tompkins of Noise Space. I'm just gonna
make the circuit. I'm Matt. I run this bitch. I have a couple other podcasts, some of which are inactive and maybe we'll start one day, and then a couple that are active. So there's Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die, which is essentially Noise Space's flagship podcast.
Not a threat, just a fact.
It's not a threat, it's just a fact. We talk about politics. We're recording an episode tomorrow, so you'll see that around the same time you see this. Although this one, I feel like is going to be a much longer edit job for David because my recording just peaked over 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because we have been talking literally forever.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be sometime midweek, probably.
And then me and my friend Trevor do a podcast called Giants Confirmed, which is going to be recording a new episode this weekend as well, also with David.
Yay.
And it's going to be about their 5th album, John Henry.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, out of those and this are the active podcasts that I'm on. I won't talk about the inactive ones until I have something to show for them again. One day.
Soon. I am Mace. I play music as Echo Vessel. You can find me on Twitter at Echo Vessel. I have a couple things to plug. I'm just gonna go down a list. Most importantly, I have an album called In Search Of coming out later this year. That I keep saying is coming out later this year, but it's definitely coming out. That album is coming out on a label that I run called Neo-Detritus, who is releasing a fuck ton of things this year. We actually have an album by Vaxxers coming in September and an album by Alexander Valentine coming next week.
A plug related to that, Alexander Valentine co-runs a podcast called Flash in the Pan that's about old Flash animations, and I wish I were better friends with them so I could force them to be on my network because they are very in like tune with the same kind of shit we like, and their podcast is very good.
Speaking of podcasts, I also have 2 podcasts on the Noisepace.xyz network. Right. Because I said Z on RadIsh the other day, and Matt swatted. No, I'm kidding. I was gonna say you swatted me.
You are in jail. You are Mace arrested.
You got canceled.
I have 2 podcasts. I am on a weekly show and tell podcast called RadIsh. We actually just premiered on the Noisepace.xyz network. And we actually recorded an episode yesterday. It is a long one as well. I am also on a Radiohead podcast called Picking Up Something Good by me and my friend Nikki Flowers. Nikki's never listened to Radiohead. I have too many times. So we run through every single song in their discography chronologically. It is we did the Bends the other day, and it is I was deliriously sick during the recording of that episode, so it's the Chaos Energy.
Gotta love the Chaos Energy episodes. They're my favorite kind of episode.
It's appropriate for that album as well.
Yes, it sure is. We won't leave you high and dry. But yeah, that's everything that I do. Listen to my album, follow my label, and listen to the 2 podcasts. I do a lot of stuff.
Hell yeah.
Including occasionally buying me music from your local record stores and shipping it to me.
I do live in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
David's also shipping me a record right now because there was a Andrew WK re-release of I Get Wet with blood-splattered vinyl, which I wanted really bad, but they didn't have Canadian shipping options on their website. So David bought it, and then I found out 5 minutes later that I could have bought it on Discogs.
Hey, what's that one Andrew WK album that, like, didn't come out in the US that's, like, apparently really creepy? I read that one really long Andrew WK article. I feel like you did, too.
I did, and I was basically just waiting the whole article for them to get to the point that Andrew WK just likes fucking with people, which is the thesis of the 33 1/3 book, and they did eventually get there. The conspiracy is that Andrew WK likes fucking with people, just if anyone was wondering.
We love Andrew WK here. Anyway.
So...
That's podcast.
That is a podcast.
That's podcast.
And as we always say, I had never seen a shooting star before.
I'd never seen a shooting star before.
I sure the fuck haven't.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. We did not touch on the fact that MPP just sounds like Mapepe.